Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor. In this video, we are talking about Alvin Kamara and his fantasy football impact for 2020. I'm doing the impact series because I want to break down every single player and let you know if I draft him and give you guys all the facts so that you guys can make that educated decision, guys, on if you should draft him on your roster, because you got to be selective with every person you draft on your roster. So I got to lay out the facts, give you the entire situation, the breakdown, so you guys can make that educated decision. So today we're talking about Alvin Kamara 2020, and I'm super excited to give you guys the Impact Series. Now, if you're here on YouTube, there's a link here below to the entire Impact Series. Click on that, watch all the videos, make your notes. And again, I'm keeping them, bite-sized information, 10, 15 minutes to get you guys that information. Also, you guys, I'd really appreciate, please smash that thumbs up here on YouTube. It means the world to me. That's your best way you can repay me. And also, I want you guys to succeed. So get the 16-round draft solution below. First ever and only video training. This is the future of fantasy football. Anyone selling you a draft kit, it's outdated. Guys, it's like literally like, using a payphone, like putting a quarter in and using a payphone, not using a cell phone. That's what it's like. 16-round draft solution, guys. This is the game changer. I give you all the optimal players in each round. You're going to absolutely love it. Your roster is going to be optimized. Everything, sleepers, breakouts, the entire deal. 16-round draft solution. Get it below or head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com right away. All right, so let's talk about Alvin Kamara. I'm going to pull up his stats here for myself so I can review them so I know what the heck I'm talking about. Mind you, I've memorized most of these player stats because that's all I do. All I do is literally look at numbers, look at situations, look at depth charts, look at the entire situation with every single player. So, do you draft Alvin Kamara? What do you do? Now, listen, this guy is currently sitting fourth amongst the consensus rankings, understandably so. The guy hasn't even got his big contract. So, Alvin Kamara, he needs to get paid. He needs to get paid big dollars. The guy's ultimate elite talent. I mean, the guy catches the ball in the backfield better than anybody pretty much. He's dynamic playmaker. He's quick. He's agile. Phenomenal receiver, right? And the thing about him is that he's always packaged with another running back, which was Ingram in the past, now Latavius Murray. And the unique thing about him is that he always finishes in the top 10 consistently, even though he is packaged. So he's one of those very rare breeds. Now, I just did a video on Austin Ekeler where people think Ekeler is going to be the next Kamara. And listen, I totally disagree with that. Alvin Kamara is special talent. He genuinely is. And this guy has a unique way in a unique offense to always finish top 10, like I said. Now, looking at him last year, he finished 9th. Not the best, right? Understandable. He only played He played 14 games. He missed a few games. Thomas got a bulk of the volume in receptions. Michael Thomas had this great year. He had like 185 targets, which was astronomical, Michael Thomas. So Kamara's on the Saints, good offense. The thing about him, he had 97 targets, 81 receptions, 533 yards, and 1 receiving touchdown. Now, rushing touchdowns last year, 5 rushing touchdowns, not bad, 4.7 yards per carry, 797 yards, and 171 attempts. Now, his receiving touchdowns were a little bit low. That was one of the main issues. Now, if you go back to his 2017 stats, Alvin Kamara finished 3rd, and where he differed a little bit was he had more receiving yards and he had more receiving touchdowns. He had 5 receiving touchdowns and 8 rushing touchdowns. So more in regards to touchdown volume. That was pretty much the difference. That's why he finished 3rd compared to the 9th, right? So he had a decline in pretty much almost every aspect, especially, again, those receiving yards, only 533 in 2019 with 1 receiving touchdown. That's really going to affect his overall numbers and bring him down. Is he going to continue to decline, or is he going to step up? I think he's going to step up because I think he had a bit of a dip year back in 2019. I think he's going to come back up. He's going to be on the upward swing. So what I like to see every year, again, is 81 receptions. That's almost like a lock. And what he does with that is going to, 81 receptions, if he gets more out of that, that's bonus. So he could crack maybe 1,000 receiving yards. You never know, right? So that I'd like to see come up. And I think it genuinely will this year. So that's kind of the big drawback to him. And another drawback when you look at Kamara is that when you do draft him, again, sitting at 4th in the ADP amongst other running backs, it's like one of those things where you're like, okay, do I make a decision here and pull the trigger and grab Alvin Kamara in my draft when you're doing your fantasy football draft? Or do I grab a guy like, Derrick Henry, a guy that's a full workhorse kind of guy who's going to get me those attempts? So when you look at Ekeler and Kamara, similar, right? They're not going to get a lot of rushing attempts. Ekeler, I think had 132 in 2019. and Kamara had 171. So the upside and the talent and the more consistent numbers go to Kamara. So if you're looking at Kamara and Eckler, the edge goes to Kamara because he's more consistent and more safe, right? But we look at Eckler, the ceiling is higher because you're uncertain. He could really bust again or it could boom. So you got to look at the situations. But when you're looking at both, Austin Eckler and Alvin Kamara, you're looking at guys that both of these guys are uncertain. They're not the full, true workhorse running backs. And that's kind of the concern. And that's one of the main reasons I've kind of stayed away from Kamara throughout the years. Would I consider drafting him this year? Possibly. If Barkley, CMC, and Zeke and Henry are gone, I may look at him, but he never really falls, right? You usually see like Henry and him come off the board, usually Kamara first. It's weird because Henry's a full true workhorse. I'm surprised he's not coming off like second. I got him second. I got Saquon, then I got Henry, then I got CMC, then I believe I got Zeke. So, I'd rather get Jacobs, I would think, over Kamara. I think the ceiling is higher. I think he's going to get more attempts than Kamara. I understand Kamara always finishes top 10. He's safe. But with Jacobs, you're going to get more rushing attempts. That's what I like. I like the full workhorse running back. The guy's going to get the volume. He's going to get the attempts. He's going to get the whole package of work. So, let's talk about the verdict here. Am I going to draft Alvin Kamara for 2020? That's the big question. And I'm going to say if he falls to me, probably, and if Jacobs is gone as well, but it's not going to work like that. Alvin Kamara, based on ADP, is going to probably go ahead of Jacobs. So unlikely that I will have Alvin Kamara on my roster. Okay, so you got to look at ADP, right? He's just going to come off the board, and then I just think there's more attractive options to get than Alvin Kamara. I'm probably not going to end up with him because, if I go first, it's probably going to be Saquon or like a Zeke or someone or Henry. And then if he falls, it's probably going to be Jacobs. So he just won't fall to me. That's just the way it's going to work, right? And if I draft at the end of the first round, maybe Jacobs is going to be there. I'll grab him. Maybe I'll even grab Todd Gurley and go Leonard Fournette. Go those two guys. Who knows, right? But at the end of the day, guys, you really got to start focusing on going with that robust fantasy football draft strategy. It's very imperative that you guys take my advice on this because, again, I'm going to say this in all my impact videos because I want to hammer this point home. And years ago, I sounded like a madman because everyone was going wide receiver in the first two rounds. I'm like, guys, don't do that. And the mainstream sheep were lashing me on social media saying, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's nuts, blah, blah, blah. Now everyone's kind of jumping on this whole robust RB train, which is, what is robust RB? Get 3 running backs in the first 3 rounds, or even, 3 running backs within the first 4 rounds. I'm almost comfortable going 4 running backs in the first 4 rounds. Now, I can talk about this more in the 60-round draft solution. There's a link here below, or head on over to thefantasyfootballcouncil.com. But I will tell you, there is a ton of depth at wide receiver going into this 2020 NFL draft. You can get wide receiver 1s, Cooks. You can get Hiltons. You can get Brown from the Ravens. You can get there's a ton of guys. There's Diggs available. I can keep going. There's a ton. McLaurin. You can get a ton of wide receiver 1s on their team and just stack a bunch of them and get a couple breakouts later, right? Guys that could potentially break out, some sleepers, and you can lock in those 2 wide receiver spots or even 3 wide receiver spots with ease, right? And then you can basically flex one of your workhorse running backs. So I'm telling you guys, there is a ton of depth. So again, going back to Alvin Kamara, though, very, very impressed with him. Going back to 2017, this guy finished top 3 in PPR. Going back to 2018, he finished 4th amongst running backs, okay? So 3rd amongst running backs, then 4th amongst running backs in 2018, and in 2019, a little bit of a dip of a year, but not to be alarmed, not to be concerned, finished 9th amongst running backs. So Alvin Kamara is consistent. Alvin Kamara needs to get paid. Alvin Kamara is elite talent. The only thorn, I got to tell you guys, one drawback, again, this bothers me, and it's going to probably bother you. Latavius Murray had 146 attempts last year compared to 171 from Kamara. Kamara, yes, showing he's the primary back, but 146 attempts gone from your workhorse running back, a guy you're going to be getting in the first round. Another thing, 5 rushing touchdowns for Latavius Murray. Again, another thing that bothers me. Another thing I want you guys to know that's going to bother you if you are looking for rushing attempts from, especially near the goal line, right, from Kamara to get those rushing touchdowns. You got Latavius Murray there, and you got Taysom Hill at quarterback who's going to rush those in. That's going to be a little bit of a pest for me as well if I'm a Kamara owner, because then you got a quarterback who's like a running back who could rush it in. that alone is a bit of a turnoff for me to commit for Kamara. So I'm going to say love the ceiling, love the upside. Trust me, Kamara is going to have a good year. But for me, I've got these thorns in my side that are bothering me with the Taysom Hill, with the Latavius Murray. So at the end of the day, I'm probably going to stay away from it. I know I'm ranting on about this because I just want you to look at every possible angle and every possible deterrent on why you wouldn't want to draft a player so that you guys can make an objective and a proper decision on it. So Alvin Kamara, too many things that bother me. So I'm going to probably say no to Kamara for me. But it's up to you guys. If you want to get Kamara and package him up with like a Todd Gurley, a David Johnson later, a guy like that, and maybe get a fourth running back in the first 4 rounds, do it. But make sure you guys get yourself some workhorse running backs that could also be workhorses for you in case things don't go the way you like them with Alvin Kamara. But he's going to have a good year. There's no doubt about it, okay? Personally, me, I like the workhorses. All right, that's it, guys. The stats are there. Finished 9th last year, ran over every number with you I could. Latavius Murray numbers, everything's here for you guys, okay? Make sure you guys smash that thumbs up, leave a comment below. Let me know, are you drafting Alvin Kamara? Like to get your feedback. And also, guys, genuinely appreciate it. Make sure you guys get the 16-round draft solution because I want you guys to win, and I've created a product for you guys. So get it, guys. You know, you're supporting me, you're supporting the channel, and you're also getting something that's actually going to help you guys win. Scrap the draft kits, scrap the cheat sheets. The future of fantasy football has arrived. Thank you for being here, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.